How many slaves do you think there are worldwide today? Can we get some hands? All right, you back there. Yeah.
Nice and loud.
250,000. Okay, can we get some other guys? All right, you. 7,340. Okay, should we get some more? All right, you. 100,000. Okay, let's get two more. All right, you in the white. He said 1,083,000. But the number's 32 million. There's 32 million slaves in our world right now. And so this was the statistic that brought us to awareness of the fact of modern day slavery and human trafficking. And oftentimes we live our lives completely unaware of the fact that the things that we wear, such as clothing or makeup or shampoo, and the things that make us feel beautiful or look beautiful are the source of others' suffering. And so we decided to begin Free Beauty, our own nonprofit organization dedicated towards combating child slavery in the cosmetics industry. All right, so some people still don't know what types of slavery there are today, and there's many different types, and simply just looking at what I'm wearing today, you think, well, where did my clothes come from? Like each strand, who put it together? And so an example being is many times the cotton in your clothing, such as in this flannel I'm wearing right now, well, most of cotton comes from Uzbekistan, where people are enslaved working to pick the cotton, and then the cotton then goes to the large corporations who make things such as our sweaters. And so there's so many different avenues of slavery, but we decided to focus in on the cosmetics industry, because there in Jharkhand, India, there's thousands of children, exactly your ages in the front and going on up in age, who are mining for a mineral called mica, which then goes into cosmetics. All right, so that was the video from our partnering organization, Made in a Free World. And in the end, as it said, you can start your own fundraiser through their website. And so not only did we start our own fundraiser, but we started our own nonprofit. And so our first fundraiser was this past September, which we'll be showing a quick little video on. And we raised just over $6,000, which was great considering that it was our first fundraiser. And so 100% of the funds went directly towards Jharkhand, India, where a former Nobel Peace Prize winner works to build safety villages from children. And so what they do is they take these children out of the mines and they place them into safety villages where they receive an education so they can break out of the cycle of poverty and can go on to be successful. And so now we'll just play this short little clip on our fundraiser.
I just thought today,
So that video was, from our fundraiser in September of 2015. And it went better than we could have imagined. So, I mean, if we could do this with little experience, we know you could do this too. And so now we wanted to share a few things that you guys can do that are small. You don't have to do an entire fundraiser if you don't want to. So there are small things you can do every day to help people who are enslaved around the world. So one thing is just educating yourself. Learning about your products, the ones that you use every day, where they come from, who's collecting the materials, and just learning more about the different types of slavery today. Another thing you can do is you can write to businesses that you buy your goods from, saying, hey, I learned that your sources are collected by children or are from sweatshops, and I would like you to change that. And you can have your friends write letters too, because this is all about supply and demand. So if a company is starting to lose people who are buying their products because people are boycotting them, then they will change that.
All right, and so the last few we have written down is just tell your friends about what you've learned, because when it comes down to it, it's about spreading awareness. Because if you tell one person, then most likely that person will tell another person, and so on. And by them having that knowledge, then they can act on it to make a change and to force corporations and businesses who make the clothes that we wear to change. And so lastly, you can fundraise just like we did. Of course, it doesn't have to be some huge fundraiser that involves getting permits, but you can do things like bake sales or gathering your friends and doing just small things, because every action counts. And so lastly, just wrapping this up for today, I just want to end it on the note of that all of us here today have so much opportunity. And what this means for me is that my grandparents, they were born in the poverty of the Bronx, New York. And so they worked so incredibly hard to make sure that my mom lived comfortably. And my parents have worked so hard to make sure that I receive an education, that I have clothes and food to eat every day. And so I can't let that opportunity be wasted. And so what we need to do is we need to take responsibility, regardless of if we know the slaves or not. We should take responsibility and we should care for them. And we should find that compassion in us and use it, not only just to be sad because they may be hurting and suffering, but we need to use it and transform it into something that then allows us to make a positive impact. And if all of us can find it in our hearts to do this, then we will slowly make this change that we need to see in our world today.